Aussie TV star Jules Lund explains how us small business owners can take advantage of the new wave of social influencers and why he's invested plenty in an app that can help us do just that. What's a social influencer?
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Australia's #1 marketing show. I'm your host, Timbo Reid. Yeah, but you, infinitely more importantly, you're a motivated business owner and you are here to crank out some great marketing so that we, together as a team, can build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it deserves to be. Welcome. If this is your first time in the land of topsy-turvy, it's my favourite book, The Faraway Tree. Welcome back. If it is your 100th time, love your work. Hey, big show. TV celeb turned entrepreneur Jules Lund has started a business called Tribe, and he's going to tell us all about it and take us inside this new world, this new marketing world of social influencers. I think you're going to love that. More details on my Philippines outsourcing tour planned for June this year. Are you coming? Huh? Are you coming? Hope so. Got some great info on that. Some feedback from a listener who has embraced the boomerang effect, which happens to be the name of my marketing text. Oh boy, is she nailing it and getting some great results. Plus, I've got an inspirational quote, which I think I'm going to put up there as one of my favourites. Yeah, hey? Now, this show is made possible by the good folk at Net Registry. If you're not getting traction with your marketing online, give them a buzz. Hit them up online, netregistry.com.au/Timbo. They will sort you out. And we're also made possible by the good folk at Audible. They've got 180,000 audiobooks ready for immediate download, and they want to give you one for free right now at the end of this show. audibletrial.com/SBBM. Go and grab one. As per usual, marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in.
Do you need a speaker for your next conference? Recommend Timbo to your event organiser. Or better still, book him. Tim Reid, that's reid.com.au.
Now, are you struggling with the cost of doing business in Australia? Or maybe America or England, wherever you are. It's expensive, isn't it? It's particularly expensive in Australia. Do you like the idea of offloading some repetitive tasks that are taking away from you spending proper time in your business and costing you way too much? Hey, maybe, just maybe, you want to come to the Philippines with me, hang out in a minibus for 3 days with a small handful of other motivated business owners. Well, that's what I'm doing. June 13 to 15, 2016, I am hosting a Philippines outsourcing tour with my old mate David Warren, and we are going to open up the eyes of a select few. Could be you just got to choose to come. We're going to open your eyes to a way of doing business that will blow you away. It's exciting stuff. It's the second year I've done this. Last year was a ripper. And I am hosting a webinar on April 27 so you can find out more about this tour and whether it's for you. I'm going to be joined by David Warren, who owns an outsourcing business over there, plus one of the attendees from last year's tour is going to join us as well, whose business has completely turned around for the better as a result of what he's doing with his outsourcing. It's a brave new world. It's a wonderful new world. I encourage you to find out more about it. So head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com. And on the right-hand side, you'll see a banner promoting the tour. Click on that and you can register for the webinar. That is a good first step. If you just want to go on the tour, you don't want to do the webinar, as I said, it's June 13 to 15, email me, tim@timreid.com.au. tell me, hell yeah, Timbo, I'm in. It will be a ripper. Okay, today's guest, he is a mate of mine and he's a wonderful friend, known him for years. He is TV celebrity turned entrepreneur Jules Lund. Now, by way of background, for those who don't watch TV or who are in another country, Jules was the presenter on Australia's top-rating travel show called Getaway, where he did over just around 400 episodes all around the world. He did these short little, like 5, 6, 7 minute segments on holiday destinations. He presents the Logies red carpet arrivals. He's been doing that since 2006. So that's sort of like the Australia's version of the Academy Awards. Is that sort of like that? He's hosted some of Australia's biggest radio programs. He appeared in episode 108 of this show, explaining how to create great content, how to handle an interview. Someone could learn a few tips from that. And then it brings us to now. In September 2015, Jules launched Tribe, which is a marketplace for social entrepreneurs and brands that need them, right? So it connects them. So this social entrepreneurs thing might be a new concept to you. If it is, you are about to learn some marketing on steroids. Plus, Jules explains why he's invested so heavily in Tribe, why influencers are so powerful, for businesses of all sizes, right? Not just the big guys, but for the little guys like you and I as well. And how businesses like yours and mine can take advantage of these social influencers. So I started off by asking Jules, what's been the biggest difference from being in front of the camera to now being behind the desk?
Less performance anxiety. But more vulnerability.
Yeah, right.
The richness of being educated is exciting and valuable, as is the feeling of trialling something new, rather than feeling like you need to measure up or chase more popular competitors in radio or TV. I just love that it's, when I got involved in television, there was a feeling, let's do it like it's always been done. In radio, when I got in, it was a competitive marketplace. And in fact, I think the last 2 radio shows, I replaced Hamish and Andy, and then I replaced Kyle and Jackie O. So
Performance anxiety right there.
So it really is, in that capacity, I've always been courageous enough, because you got to, I have had, I've been quoted as having the biggest balls in the business.
How do you back yourself? I mean, we're here to talk about Tribe, but that's kind of interesting in terms of, because a lot of small business owners struggle to back themselves when confronted with a big opportunity.
Yeah.
And for overseas listeners, Hamish and Andy, Kyle and Jackie O, the 2 biggest radio shows in Australia at the time. One still are.
They're both.
They're still around. How do you back yourself, besides having just inbuilt confidence? What do you say to yourself? I'm good.
I have something to say, and it's of value.
Yeah.
I suppose in radio, I just go, you just got to know who you are.
Yep.
And I've had great advisors like yourself over the years, and also Sam Kavanagh, who is one of our best mates. And we've known for 20 years, and also the executive producer for Hamish and Andy. And he just said, look, don't try to be anything that you're not. Don't try to be too sensationalised like Cole. Don't try to be a genius, funny talent like Hayne.
Yeah.
You don't have to be funny. Just be fun, because there's a reason why the people around you love your company. And then I just said, look, I'll find an audience. It doesn't have to be as large an audience. And sometimes that's enough.
Good advice by Sammy.
He's a smart guy.
Man who doesn't like the microphone or the camera. That's good advice.
Yeah, it's great.
So, this theme has been around my show for the last few weeks about being yourself.
Yeah.
So whether you are trying to be a public speaker, or whether you're thinking about putting yourself in your marketing, your brochures or your videos or whatever it is, and a lot of business owners struggle with that because they think, well, I'm not a performer, or I don't have media training, it's like, no, but you yourself. Just be yourself, and there's power in that.
Yeah, and I think that's why I've always loved social media, because you are able to have a voice and you attract those people that it resonates with, and that might be a small tribe of 1,000 or 500,000, but it was born out of your expression of passions, your talents, your expertise, what you loved, your passion points. That's what connects people. And now with social media, everyone has an audience, and I don't think anyone started by trying to be something that they weren't, whereas in television and radio, we felt like we had to.
Yeah, social media. Let's talk about that. My views on social media, and you'll learn this because you've got two young girls who probably don't yet have Facebooks or Twitter accounts, but I've talked about this previously on the show, where it's like, as a father, I hate it. Father of teenagers, I hate social media. As a marketing guy, it's amazing. So we'll just focus on the marketing stuff.
No, I'm actually interested. Why is it...
Don't get me on my soapbox.
All right, short, Timbo, short.
Not easy for me.
Just give me the headline.
Jeez. It's a distraction to life.
Gotcha. So it's not about they're being preyed on by predators.
No.
And it's not about... So you're saying they're distracted.
They're more connected. They've never been more connected, and they've never been more disconnected.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I am just constantly saying to Jack, Will and Stephanie, look 3 centimetres up. Just give me 3 centimetres, team. It's all I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You know?
And download my podcast.
yeah. Listen to the podcast. And hey, Jack, have you tweeted it? Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, good. But you know, like... Yeah, so there is that whole love-hate, but, you know, let's talk about marketing. Brilliant segue into Tribe, because, you know, as I say, there's never been a better time to market a business.
Yeah.
I often say market a small business, that's because who the show represents, but you're making best use of social media with Tribe. So explain what Tribe is.
Okay. It's a marketplace that connects brands, small, medium and large.
Small?
That is...
Righto. Okay, come to that. Good.
Yeah, there's only one reason I'm talking to you, mate, is because I'm hoping that your podcasters will see value in it.
I'm fascinated by that.
Yeah,
I was looking at Tribe, and I've used Tribe, and I thought it was big brand space.
More than any other marketing or influencer marketing platform out there, we are so good for small businesses.
Wow.
It's just that we haven't been promoting those brands because we create more noise around the global brands.
Yeah.
So to give you an idea, brands...
What is it?
Yep,
What is it?
Connect with social influencers. Now, influencers is already a horrendous term. We classify an influencer as someone who has a large social media following on one of the 3 major platforms, Facebook, Instagram or Twitter. And at the moment, they have 5,000 followers or more. Now, a lot of influencer programs are designed for those with 1 million, 500,000 or 100,000. 91% of our database has under 100,000. And these are citizen influencers. That's where we specialise. They're everyday Aussies that have built a big tribe around that passion or that expertise. And it can be gardening or gadgets, mulch, train spotting. Small business marketing. So... We have an ability where brands will go onto our platform, and in 5 simple steps they put a brief up, a campaign brief, and then the moment they put their credit card details on, it gets activated into the influencers app, and we've got a couple of thousand influencers, and they see the brief. Now, brands, small brands, and all brands don't pay a cent to upload a brief and get it into the eyes of the influencers. In fact, they don't even pay to get all of this content back. So this is how we've flipped the model. So as an influencer, I will see anyone, we've got 220 brands that we've worked with over the last 4 months, so there's 110 brands in there at the moment. And they're everyone from the top end, Reebok, Sony's, Havianas, Domino's, Vodafone's, you name it, down to cafes around the corner.
Really?
Pubs. Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, I have seen, I saw the Skinny Dog in Kew.
Yeah.
It's my old stomping ground. I was quite chuffed to see that.
Sadly, you won't be able to promote that one because they don't let you back.
Yeah, correct.
So the people that get that brief will go, oh, you know what? I can actually go down to the Skinny Dog Hotel for lunch and take a photo of me and my family, for a birthday lunch, and I'll submit that content and I'll put a price to it. So if I've got, 50,000 followers, maybe I'll put $150 to that.
How do you work it? Well, there is a scale.
They choose. It's a marketplace. It's like eBay.
Skinny Dog does. The brand does.
No, the influencer does, based on their following.
How would you decide on a price?
Well, we do it around. We give a really basic rate card, but soon we'll give them better guidance with analytics and engagement.
Yeah, right.
But they choose it. This is the marketplace. We don't get involved in that. So say they put in $150. Skinny Dog sits back and gets 30, 40 pieces of content that streams into their inbox, and it's exactly as it will look when it's published. And it has you down there with the family, and it has $150, and you click through to the socials and go, wow, that's the sort of conversation that I want my brand to be a part of.
Yep.
And then if you like it, you purchase it. If you don't like it, you don't purchase it. There's no obligation. So in other words, you've paid nothing to get all this content. The ones you like, you buy, and you pay per post, and it goes through to your credit card details. And the second it's approved, the influencer, just presses publish, and they get paid straight away.
Brilliant. So tell me one thing about this idea of many people having lots of followers on Twitter or Facebook. You can game that. How do you overcome that? Like I can go onto a website like Fiverr, and there are people saying, "I'll get you 5,000 followers for $10." So all of a sudden, how do you?
Well, we
get around that?
treat.
You don't really you can't control that, can you?
We can. We treat fake followers exactly like we treat irrelevant followers and inactive followers. They're all the same.
Yeah, right.
They're of no value.
Right.
So that's measured by engagement. And so, we have a number of different flags. Like we've had, I think in our first 1,700 influencers, we had 3 influencers flagged, 2 by us internally and 1 by a brand. And there's so many different checks that we can put through, all the way through to getting third-party software and then to provide the demographic, exactly where they are from, their age, etc.
Yeah.
And soon we'll have those analytics.
So if 90% of the followers are in Kazakhstan, hello to all. I do have a list for Kazakhstan, by the way. It's like, that's looking dodgy, isn't it? Like all of a sudden, well, they're probably not an influencer.
Well, to be honest, we don't say dodgy because we say that...
not relevant.
Not relevant.
Yeah,
Skinny Dog isn't... So we don't really differentiate between fake or irrelevant. And the analytics that we'll have will soon be able to break down an influencer's audience, their age, their gender, their location, so that you can make better and more informed buying decisions when that picture comes up from Skinny Dog. And you might have a heap of followers in America because your podcast is huge over there.
This influencer concept, Jules, is new to a lot of small businesses. I mean, for many, this could be the first time they've ever heard about it, an influencer. Because a lot of businesses, they're buying space on the radio, they're buying space in the local paper, they're doing the letterbox drop. It's quite a big concept to get your head around, isn't it?
And that's why we're trying to simplify it.
Yeah.
So our average campaign price is about $2,000 to $3,000. The average post price is about $200.
Hang on, let me understand that. Average campaign price.
So, for instance, if Uncle Toby's comes in, or if we did a campaign for the...
Okay, so the amount... Uncle Toby's end up choosing 10 influencers, and that's cost them $2,000 or $3,000.
Yeah.
On average, each one of those influencers made $200 or $300. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So it's really achievable. Now, if you were to go to an agency, that's where it gets expensive because they've got to manage all those people. Yeah. But in tech, the prices are just so economical.
Yep.
And as I say, you just have to have a minimum spend of $1,000. And the reason we say that you have to spend $1,000 is because we don't want tire kickers going into the platform and just getting all this content back that they have no intention of purchasing, because the influencer's got a lot of effort. Don't forget, for an influencer, it's a really big deal to craft content with no guarantee that you're going to get purchased. And they understand that it's a bit like modelling castings. You'd know that. You're always hanging out the front of them.
Correct. Boom, boom.
That you get one in every 2 or 3, but the way we've flipped the model, which is really unique, is that we don't send out any samples. So I'll give you an idea. one of the brands that came in the other day was this beautiful Memo bottle, which is a water bottle that's really fashion designer focused. And
I could see you putzing around with one of them.
Yep. So they uploaded a campaign themselves, 9 o'clock at night, and the next morning they'd already purchased 5 posts.
Yeah, right.
And they were published. So in that time they'd got content submitted, and none of us in the tribe office had one conversation with anyone. So that's the power of tech. But what's interesting is we weren't sending out product. So influencers at the moment are used to having something sent to them. They agree on a price, and then they go off and create content. What we do is if other influencers aren't willing to purchase the product or they don't already own it, then they have no right to recommend that their tribe does. And so, there's a lot of ethical codes that we've inbuilt from the very start that ensure that it's authentic advocacy.
Nice. What? Give us an example of maybe the most successful campaign that's been run on Tribe. Maybe one that surprised you.
Well, it's all in. What's incredible is it's all in volume.
Yeah.
Like last Tuesday morning, we had about 50 posts purchased between 9 and noon, which is like one every 10 minutes.
For one brand or across?
For 5 or 6 brands. So it's with 220 brands, they're all purchasing, and they're continuous campaigns. The ones that work best are those that are an always positioner for your brand, and you just get these content that just comes through as new influencers. That interact with it. And but Cathay Pacific jumped in last week, and they've already bought a whole heap. I mean, there's the engagement rates, because it's so cheap at the moment. These are influencers that have a big tribe and have an enormous amount of trust that they've built, like you do with your audience. That if they're authentically talking about the brands they already use, because if you go into our app, there's 100, there's more brands in there than you could ever post about. Like if you did one every week, that's 2 years. So you're not you're only going to choose the ones that you're already wearing, the shoes, the products in your wardrobe, the ones in your pantry, the apps in your phone. There's just so much stuff that you authentically use that you're probably already recommending a lot of those brands in your social feeds anyway.
That's exactly right. You're doing it anyway and just not getting paid for it.
Yep.
Do you do it?
No, I don't make any money through it, but I do sponsored posts.
Yeah, right.
But most of the stuff these days are just favours for friends. Like there's so many events that I'm a part of, or there's like I'm about to do one for Batten's disease for a friend. There's another event that I'm with.
What's Batten's disease?
Oh, I don't know all the details, but I have a friend whose niece is really sick.
Yeah, right.
And so I'll do as best I can to try and bring some awareness.
Sharing it out via your social channels.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And
Gotcha.
So I don't really, and occasionally, a part of broader campaigns, but I don't do them through Tribe.
Can we talk about, now that we get Tribe, the concept of influencers, I'm fascinated by the fact that small brands can use it. That's fantastic. So thanks for talking to me. But the idea of a cafe or a vet or a plumber being able to utilise Tribe as an advertising channel, advertising promotional channel, that's exciting.
Yeah. And there's no risk because, you see what you're going to get. It's not like someone is going to misfire on your brand. You see the content before you prove it.
Hey team, I'm chatting with Tribe founder Jules Lund. Before Jules explains why he's so excited by the idea of Tribe, here's a word from a couple of sponsors that want to grow that beautiful business of yours into the empire it deserves to be. Support for this show comes from Net Registry, a one-stop shop for getting your online marketing sorted. Verity Ma, their Chief Marketing Officer, recently told me this story of a very happy mechanic.
So one of my favourite stories of customers that I heard was a salesperson was talking to a mechanic, and he was talking about what sort of email he would like to have and what kind of hosting, whether he wants cloud or cPanel hosting. And the mechanic just said, look, I don't care, build my website, here's my phone number, make my phone ring and send me the bill. And that was the last we heard of him. He didn't provide us content. He didn't provide us any details about his business. We had his contact details. We wrote all the content and we just got his phone ringing and sent him the bill.
Net Registry, where happy mechanics go to grow their business online. Visit netregistry.com.au or give them a buzz on 1300 638 734 and tell them Timbo sent you. And this episode is also made possible by Audible, who's now offering you, the motivated business owner, a free audiobook of your choice right now. Head over to audibletrial.com/SBBM and choose a free audiobook from 180,000 titles. That's pretty good. And now, back to Jules. So, mate, going back to the start, big move for you, I reckon, starting a business like this. You probably considered a few things to do once, your time in front of the camera or in front of the behind the microphone, I don't know, you decided to move on. Yeah?
Well, it's just a natural evolution of where I was excited.
Where'd the idea come from? Did you see it happening overseas or...?
It was originally born out of the fact that... So, working with Fifi Box on a radio show, Fifi and Jules show, which was the show that we did in the drive in the afternoons nationally, I had just come from working on Getaway for 10 years. And so all of my ideas in radio were visual. And I'd come up with all these ideas to the team and they'd say, that's great, but it's radio. And so I said, can I just create videos for our social channels? And so I then became pretty obsessive around that and I'd studied graphic design, so I just loved, and we built this really engaged audience, and it became the most engaged brand page on Facebook in the entire country out of all categories, automotive, FMCG. Wow. And because of that, Southern Cross Austereo said, geez, like a lot of people were asking because we were featuring in leaderboards in trade press. And so...
You've had an aha moment.
Well, it was more around I just enjoyed it. So then they said, all right, how did you do that? Can you talk to some of the agencies and some of the brands? And then because I did that, I was inundated with campaigns to do sponsored posts. And so I was getting those and I found that the processes were horrendous. It was in desperate need of a workflow solution. And the answer was tech. So I designed something for me and then thought this would work. Well, I had that thought and also met someone, Andrew Ford, who's a fantastic marketing guy. He's got Social Star, well worth looking at. And so we sort of just thrashed around and wrestled these ideas and obsessed about it for 18 months while we were doing other work. And then Andrew moved on to work on his baby, which was, his business. And I continued on with Tribe and I really enjoyed it.
What was the first thing you had to do to go, okay, I'm going to do this. This is for real. I'm going to bring this business to life?
Yeah.
What was it? Did you have to go and raise capital? Did you go and just go get the website live? Did you start to do a few posts yourself to see whether you get traction, whether someone would pay you for it?
I just sketched it. Because I did graphic design, I just made the look and feel.
Did you do graphic design?
Yeah.
At uni. How'd that go for you?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I still do work with designs. I don't know how to push the buttons.
You're a very visual guy.
I just micromanage them over their shoulder to their delight.
Yeah.
So I just refined the actual product itself until I could create a video to show people how streamlined it was. And that was a seed, and then that was enough. And then it was enough to bring on 2 advisors that were sensational in business. And then we were able to raise 750 and then bring on a CEO. And
why did you choose to raise? I think you just answered the question. Did you raise because you wanted to get a CEO or because...
Yeah.
So you had to give away part of the business right up front, yeah?
Yeah. And, we just needed money to spend. So I'd put in $250,000 myself, just bankrolling it to get to certain points.
Where's the expense in a business like this? Is the website pretty kind of intricate?
Well, the app is expensive.
Yeah, right.
The app to this point is...
Yeah.
Don't
even go there.
But, they're really expensive.
Right.
So the technology and... the specialists that make this stuff are in high demand.
Yeah.
They're not making developers and data scientists and UI and UX designers fast enough.
You wouldn't have said those words 3 years ago.
No, I still don't even know what they mean. But it was impressive, isn't it? So we've actually just raised again, and we're doubling our team very quickly. We've got the CTO now on board, and then developers both in-house and offshore, and a UI UX designer that I'm trying to find at the moment, and a product manager. So it's like, that's what the money buys you, the ability for speed and specialists to be able to take out of my hands the clumsy work that I do that has got us to this point.
What do you bring to the party?
Oh, mate.
Come on.
I got great dad jokes in the office.
Mate, not as good as the dad jokes coming from this little puppy over here.
No.
Do you love dad jokes? Love them.
Sometimes.
Love
Sometimes. What's your favourite?
Sandwich walked into a bar and said, ordered a beer. And the barman said, don't serve food here, mate.
My dad used to say when an ambulance used to come flying past going, you won't sell too many ice creams going that fast.
Your dad's pretty good at dad jokes, old kitty.
That was the only one I could relay from him because they're filthy.
But as a what are you, CEO, managing
No,
director,
I'm not.
founder,
No,
whatever you are?
I'm a founder. So what I bring to the table is a knowledge of the different stakeholders. So I understand brands really well. I understand the influencers really well, and that's both sides of the marketplace. But I also know how to communicate really well and understand the needs of the talent agencies that represent the influencers and also the big media companies. So from a content point of view, all the way through to return on investment, I sit in the centre of that, and that helps guide a lot of our strategy and the vision for the business, understanding and also, meeting, like yesterday we had lunch with Instagram, the 2 girls that run Instagram in Australia pretty much, and they're superstars.
2 girls run
Pretty
the whole of
much,
Instagram.
yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, Jasmine Workman and Sophie Blatchford.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you talk about?
Well, we talk about the...
Did you do some selfies? Hey?
We did. We did in their gravity room. No, we talk about the trends and where it's moving. That's the exciting stuff. Being at the front of this, and we've just nuzzled our way to the front of it. In other words, we've got our technology up to a point that we now wait for those bigger platforms and the marketing industry to take a step, and we get to take a step with it, which is really exciting.
So have you got insights with Twitter and Facebook as well? Have they been kind of receptive to what you're doing?
Well, Facebook owns Instagram, so that is the same group.
They do.
So we were at Facebook headquarters yesterday, and Twitter's been great. We've got a good relationship with them as well. We're going to a party next week.
Twitter party?
Yep.
More selfies. Hey?
Plenty of selfies.
Tell me, how do you market something? I've had a few guests on the show that have created something that's it's a new industry, right? So there's a challenge in itself to you can't just put come over and tribe.
I agree, and to be honest, we don't have those answers. Marketing is...
So what are you doing at the moment then?
Well, we're doing a bit of social marketing, so we'll create some content that we're putting some money behind and amplifying it. For us, our customers are brands and influencers, and at the moment, we're getting out on the street and doing road trips to pitch and present to brands, but that's why we use speaking opportunities. We also use our EDMs,
So a lot of face-to-face stuff, a lot of one-on-one stuff, EDMs not so much. What about the idea, because the videos that you've produced for Tribe, and I've seen 2 of them, they're good. I mean, it's what you do. You grew up doing short videos for Getaway. Yeah. Why wouldn't you do more of that?
It's exhausting.
Come on, mate. A couple of concrete pills.
What do you mean? Do you reckon I should get on the camera and flog it a bit more?
I always look at a business owner and go, what skills has that business owner got that they're underutilising for whatever reason? They think it's tiring, they don't believe in what they've got, whatever it is. Yeah. For you, you've got the ability to present, to have a laugh, to create a great story on video. Now, they're assets that most people listening to this would kill for.
Well, I think...
Don't you want to be the front person?
No, I certainly don't want to be too much of the front person, but I think we've got a content marketing plan that we have to roll out, and it's extensive, and it starts it starts at the top, and then we put all that content into the chop shop and just break it up into all the different distribution channels, whether that be written blogs, turn a bit into a quote that we put on a picture that we put on Instagram, to little videos. I just can't get to it at the moment. And so that's why I'm trying to replace all those other positions that I am involved in the business at the moment. And when we get specialists to take over certain areas of it, then I can help provide strategy to them, but I don't have to get stuck in the micro tasks, and I can do what I do best.
Yeah, right.
And at the moment, that is content marketing. It's the stuff that I really enjoy, but I can't get to it because no one's ringing up and complaining about our content marketing not being out there.
Yeah.
But there are persistent, there's things within our business that require urgent attention because it's friction, it's a pain point. So they're the things that you really, early days, because it's building such momentum, we're hanging on to this thing for dear life, trying to steer it at the same time. You've
seen competitors pop up?
Yep. Yeah, there's plenty of competitors. What's unique about ours is that we are tech focused. So there's influencer marketing platforms out there, but it's tech enabled management processes. So in other words, they're still getting on the phone. What we define as tech is no one having that conversation for the brand to come in and no one talking to the influencer and transactions happening.
Yeah, right.
So we've definitely got our work cut out for us because that is a slower process, but it's far more scalable.
Yeah.
The benefit is that our app is all around the world right now, and
so your app's available all around the world. So are you in the Apple store in the States, in Canada, and the UK,
but we just don't. You're
not taking on you're not taking on brands over there.
No.
Why would you be in the App Store then?
Well, it just basically it automatically goes in there. You can restrict it.
Yeah, right.
Well, the truth is, it's great for people to be, because there's a really unique thing around. In social, your audience is everywhere. And global brands work best because sometimes work best within that ability to have, because your audience isn't just Australia. So a brand that comes to you, the reason we break down audience demographic is because that brand should only be paying for the ones that they're relevant to. And so Skinny Dog in Victoria should only really be paying for those,
yeah, of course,
those audience that can actually get down to Skinny Dog. So we have to break it down so that the price measures the value for that brand. For a global brand, obviously, it's almost 100%.
So the plan is, how far down the track to take on Kellogg's in the States, or be happy to accept, brands from overseas to advertise on Tribe?
Oh, it wouldn't take too long.
Is there a button in the office where you go, right, boys, flick that button now, open up Canada?
No, because you're still going to get over there on the ground, and
right.
you'd have to get, you'd probably get a couple of people over there, someone who's representing the influencers and someone who's representing the brands, and but you'd be able to use a lot of the brands that we use here to just say, hey, can you just sell us into other regions? But you wouldn't go anywhere near America because they're 18 months ahead of us.
Donald Trump might be running it.
Yeah, it's frightening. So we wouldn't go there.
Right.
They're not ahead of our platform necessarily, but they're ahead of the marketplace. And so it's probably best, for us to use Australia as a bit of a test market, and just refine the platform. But the platform, once built, is it's transferable.
What's your favourite social media?
I'm loving Instagram at the moment, but to be honest, my favourite social media is like our platform, because I love going through the scroll and seeing the new
Is your
brands.
platform?
Yeah. Like I love going in the back end and seeing all these, the community submitting all this amazing content. Like for me, that's a real buzz. I'm obsessive. So if I'm going to go into Instagram, I see that I'm sort of either full on or full off. And funnily enough, social media takes me away from family time.
Yeah.
And it's,
here we go.
Yeah.
We're back to the...
We are, the $1 million question. But, and that those years that I built the Fifi and Jules social accounts came at a cost of my family, you know.
Wow, it's a big call.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And I think...
This might be further fuel for my fire. What do you
Yeah.
mean came at the cost of your family? Like the amount of time that you were distracted by peering into that screen trying to build traction with... it's interesting,
chasing the dragon.
Hey?
Trying to get that organic reach.
I think that's a kind of comment about heroin.
Yeah, it is. That's what I mean.
But social media is like a drug because it gives you that instant fix.
Yeah.
Again, you know.
Yeah.
Back on my soapbox.
No, but it definitely does. And look, there would be surveys around the world that would demonstrate that it is an addiction. And that's why with Snapchat's going to be monstrous this year. And, there's great opportunity. I mean, our platform will get involved with Snapchat, but there's a great opportunity because it really is aligned to the way that I like to express myself, very quick, do some video footage of what's happening around my life. But I've chosen that I'm not going to step into that because you can't half do it, because as soon as you go out for a beautiful lunch and something crazy happens, you're going to want to get the content.
Yeah.
So you either go, I'm not on it, or I am on it,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's fair to Anna to always have my phone in my hand.
Correct. Have you seen any businesses doing Snapchat really well? I haven't had that discussion.
Oh, yeah, unbelievable. Globally, in America, it's unbelievable. Like, you couldn't... The biggest brands in the planet, the publishers, they've got non-stop 24-hour channels.
Yeah, okay.
Everyone from MTV, New York Times, Vice.
What are they snapping? Just behind the scenes stuff? And,
people user-generated content.
Right.
They throw some graphics on there, cool music. It's like the feeling of MTV years ago on television, but it's just instant and it's non-stop.
Yeah.
And all of their articles... they will just get the video because it's the same content. It's just how you share it.
Yeah,
That's
share
what
it.
I mean about the
Yeah.
chop shop. That's why the Fifi and Jules stuff worked really well, because we were doing radio and I was just going, right, how do I take that 5-minute radio break, of us mucking around and turn that into a 30-second video, a funny photo, a caption this, so you get a photo of it and say caption this, and it goes bananas. Just a number of different things, and it wasn't a if you're going to do the radio anyway, you may as well just share it.
Totally. Hey, buddy, I wish you all the luck with Tribe.
Thanks, mate.
See you in 12 months' time for a bit of an update. Where it's at. Where would you love, if we were sitting here in 12 months' time, what would you like to be sort of saying, okay, here's the scoreboard, number one?
I think we're going to continue to, and I hate using this word disrupt, but there'll be a lot of people threatened by we'll have our target on our back from here on, and the bigger we get, the more unpleasant I suppose that side of it is, but it's always a good sign. So by this time next year, I want our systems to be running really efficiently in terms of a big size, and I want our app to be in different regions, and I want to be able to...
Swinging from a hammock on some island in the Bahamas?
Maybe 2 years after that.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you build these things to sell them eventually.
Yeah. Where do people find it?
In the iTunes App Store.
Tribe. Well, there you go, team. Jules Lund of Tribe. I'd recommend you go and download that app from the App Store. It's a beautiful looking app, if nothing else, but it's also a very effective app if you are a small business owner or a brand. Hey, Jules also, after that interview, very kindly did a 15-minute chat with me all about camera skills. So for those video marketers and content creators amongst us, it's a wonderful insight into how to manage yourself in front of the camera. And you can find that inside the Small Business Big Marketing Forum over at crankmymarketing.com. Okay, top 3 attention grabbers thanks to Net Registry, who get you sorted online with all your marketing, and to Audible. Grab a free audio book over at audibletrial.com/SBBM. Attention grabber number 1, thanks to Jules. Give some serious thought to who your influencers are. Then reach out to them on social media. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. So team, go ahead and take a pic of yourself listening to this episode and share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anywhere, and use hashtag marketing podcast. That'd be cool. Hey, there we go. You're my social influencers. I'm making best use of you. Attention grabber number 2. Go ahead and download Tribe, the app. Test it out, either as an influencer or a brand seeking influencers. This is a whole new world, and I think by looking at apps like this, you'll get your head around how it could positively impact your business. Attention grabber number 3. What about Jules's comment, re performance anxiety, right at the top of that interview? Isn't it great to know that even the pros get it? So now you have no excuse whatsoever when creating that next piece of helpful content. Whether it's a video, a podcast, a blog post, I don't care. Embrace that performance anxiety and enjoy it. It's what makes you show up. I got to laugh. The stories he shares in the bonus interview that I've put inside the forum, they're gold. Some of the things he did to overcome his fear of camera, brilliant. Hey, I'd love to know what grabbed your attention in that interview. Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/306 and tell me. Mandy Hale once said, "You don't always have to plan. Sometimes you just need to breathe, trust, let go, and see what happens." Oh, yeah. Hey, how's that for a quote? Take a big breath. You with me? And out. Whew. Got a bit of a head rush. Head rush then. Might do that again. Oh, it puts you in a good frame of mind. You got to breathe. Breathing's good. Got a listener question, team. Anita Campbell. Well, it's sort of listener feedback, actually. That's what it is. Anita Campbell, globalbaby.co.nz. She says, "Hey, Timbo." Hey, Anita. "Just wanted to say thanks. I love the podcast. I've learned so much, especially about putting yourself out there as the face of your small business." So true. "I own a cool little baby shop in Auckland." No, not me, Anita. "And I made it my New Year's resolution to put up a YouTube video, catch this, every Sunday that would help my customers." Oh, yeah. Love that phrase. Help my customers. "I had been worried about getting a good camera and microphone, but then I took your advice and just got stuck in." Yeah, here we go. Anita's a motivated business owner. "The response has been amazing. Here's what has happened. I've sold 2 strollers off the back of the videos, totaling over $3,000. Gee, they must be good strollers. Well, they got turbo engines or something. And loads of customers tell me they've watched my videos. Best thing is, they cost me nothing." Yeah, nothing. Yep, marketing world's changed, Anita. That's how it works. She goes on to say, "I've just been using my phone and editing using iMovie. At the start, I was holding my phone up with a bit of blue tack and doing a voiceover. I love it. But I've graduated to a $20 tripod and talking to the camera. Woohoo! There we go. That's what I'm talking about. One video has almost 2,500 views. This is a little baby shop in New Zealand, team. Isn't that unreal? Sometimes I wonder if people are just watching them to have a giggle at my quick Kiwi accent. But whatevs, says Anita. I don't care, because I'm making the sales. Oh yeah, I'm shipping." That's what she's doing. She's shipping strollers because she's creating helpful marketing. That's the boomerang effect right there. Keep up the good work, Timbo. I'm looking forward to reading your book real soon. Let me move my car keys off my book, Anita, and get the book in my hand, because listeners, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the boomerang effect is my book, and let me define the boomerang effect. It is when you get back from your marketing more than you put in. Hey? That's a good return. It's the result of creating helpful marketing that returns multiples. That's a good return. And the boomerang effect is an outcome every motivated business owner and marketer dreams of, right? I'm going to put the book down now. You ready? Yeah, drops the book. It's like dropping the microphone. A great feedback, Anita. Well done. You're taking action. It gets results. It's just how it works. Marketing's not brain surgery. So there you go, team. That's from Anita. If you would like to leave me some feedback and share a story or ask me a marketing question, head over to iTunes and leave a listener review. I check them every day. Don't tell anyone that. Just in case someone leaves a review and a question, share it on the show. All right. One more little segment before we wrap things up. The Small Business Big Marketing Forum's got a brand new look. Oh, I've been doing some work on that this week. Actually, the last few weeks. It's had a facelift. It looks unreal. And there's some really exciting things happening for forum members, including some webinars that are coming up. Old friend Amanda Stevens, she's going to run a webinar on how to create raving fans. Old mate Nathan Chan from Founder Magazine, he's going to run a webinar on Instagram, how to build your profile using it. He's the master of it. Got lots of training that's going up, like Jules's video tips and loads more. Plus members will receive an additional discount on that Philippines tour that I spoke about earlier. So some pretty good reasons to join, really, wouldn't you think? And on top of all that, I'm in there with other motivated business owners answering your questions, solving your marketing conundrums. Goodness me. Join. It's ace. crankmymarketing.com is the website. I'd love to see you inside there. We share our big wins, our small wins as well. Go on, crankmymarketing.com. See you inside. All right, team. I reckon that's it. Bit of an upbeat show, wouldn't you say? I was a bit excitable. I'm excited. I'm excited by marketing. I'm excited by what marketing can do for your business. I'm excited by you embracing things like the boomerang effect and making marketing a hobby. All right, I'll get off my soapbox. You know where I'm coming from. Plenty of marketing gold coming your way, though. Next week, you and I were joined by the self-professed safety nerd herself, Sarah Jane Dumford. SJ's a long-time listener of this show. She's a member of my forum. And I've got to tell you, she is a highly motivated business owner. So much so that she put on a gala awards night for the safety industry recently, and it has changed everything in her business. She is getting more business. She is a key person of influence in her industry, and she's rocking it. Sponsors are knocking her door down. She's going to tell us how she did it. Hey, big thanks to Daryl Misson for editing this show, for making my dulcet tones sound a little bit better. And to Lockie Dolly for creating the music bed for this show. Thanks, Lockie. You're a rock star. Check him out at lockiedolly.com. Hey, if you want to surround yourself with motivated business owners, see you inside the forum. If you want me to speak at an upcoming event, maybe you're a member of a chamber of commerce or an industry association, a franchise group. I don't know what you do. I know what you think, though. Eh? Yeah, I do. timreid.com.au is where you'll find me. Big hugs to Net Registry and Audible for making this show possible. Don't forget to go over to netregistry.com.au/Timbo to get some exclusive listener packages and grab that free audio book. Why wouldn't you? Free audio book? Hello? I'll take one of those. audibletrial.com/SBBM. That stands for Small Business Big Marketing. Righto, until next week, I'm Timbo Reid. Always have been, always will be. And thanks for listening to the Small Business Big Marketing Show. Love you heaps. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.